revolving loan fund. This bill is jointly sponsored by Senators Bill Beagle, where's Bill, and Senators Troy Balderson. This bill uses $25 million in its existing casino licensure fees to establish a revolving loan training and education loan program. The goal is simple: to help Ohioans retool their skills and qualify them for expanding job opportunities. So much of what we do in Ohio in this area has been focused at the unemployed. Well, this bill will help also focus resources and training dollars to the underemployed. Senate Bill 2, the Workforce Development Improvement Act. This legislation is jointly sponsored by Senator Peggy Lehner and Senator Bill Beagle. This bill is designed to improve job training and placement programs by partnering the 90 different one-stop locations in counties across the state with the statewide Ohio Means Job initiative. The Ohio Means Job website currently has approximately 100,000 job listings. We need to make sure qualified Ohioans find Ohio jobs. Senate Bill 3, the Job Creation Empowerment Act, sponsored by Senator Frank LaRose. This legislation continues on our regulatory reform efforts and is an attempt to make Ohio an attractive place to locate and expand jobs by ensuring that state regulations are regularly reviewed to eliminate unnecessary red tape. Specifically, the bill creates a rule watch system to make it easier for Ohioans and employers to be notified when rules affecting them is up for review. It also authorizes the creation of a pilot program identifying 3 to 5 entrepreneurs annually to assist state agencies in strengthening coordination with small business employers. Senate Bill 4, the Newborn Healthy Hearts Bill. This bill is sponsored by Senators Gail Manning and Senator Scott Oslander. It has the support of the Ohio Heart Association. And this is one of those bills that falls into the I don't know why we haven't done this earlier category. Congenital heart disease, CHD, is the most common birth defect in the United States and is the leading cause of birth defect-related deaths. This bill ensures that all newborns receive a non-invasive pulse oximetry screening to identify congenital heart defects early. Senate Bill 5, Kelsey's Law. This bill is jointly sponsored by Senators Edna Brown and Gail Manning. Yes, I did say one of our top 10 bills is a bill jointly sponsored by one of the Senate Democrats. Senate Bill 5 allows law enforcement officers access to call location information, including GPS tracking for missing or abducted persons. This bill is named after Kelsey Smith, an abducted and murdered Kansas teenager. Legal questions regarding obtaining the cell data relayed and delayed investigators' efforts to locate her for days. Senate Bill 6, the Fiscal Officer Integrity Act. This bill came as a result of recommendations from Auditor Dave Yost and is sponsored by Senator Tim Schaefer. It's designed to ensure the protection of public funds and the effective management of tax dollars. The bill establishes continuing education requirements for township and municipal fiscal officers and also establishes a standard by which a fiscal officer can be removed from office when they betray the public's trust. Senate Bill 7, Deputy Suzanne Hopper Act, is sponsored by Senators Bill Beagle and Chris Widener. Chris is on his way here. He will be with us, I believe, towards the end. The bill requires courts to notify law enforcement officers of violent offenders who are sentenced to mental health treatment rather than incarceration. This information is essential to protecting officers who could potentially encounter these offenders during an investigation. The legislation was prompted by the death of Clark County Sheriff Deputy who was shot and killed by an offender on conditional release in Clark County. Senate Bill 8, the Military Employment Assistance Bill, sponsored by Senator LaRose. This bill is part of Ohio's commitment to supporting military families. It modifies Ohio law to offer unemployment benefits to individuals who have become unemployed due to their military spouse's relocation or deployment. Senate Bill 9, the Health Insurance Accountability Act, sponsored by Senator Bacon. This bill adopts accountability standards and restrictions for federally mandated health insurance advisors. These navigators act as insurance agents who aid in searching and purchasing insurance under the federally mandated health insurance program. Senate Bill 10, the Polling Access and Integrity Act. This elections reform bill improves access for Ohioans to polling locations, both for disabled Ohioans and other Ohioans with special needs. It also will ensure that journalists have reasonable access to polling locations and clarifies that persons in line when a polling location closes are entitled to cast a ballot. This bill is sponsored by Senator Bill Coley. Now, everything we've talked about today is designed to build on what has already been accomplished over the last 2 years, as I mentioned earlier, working with the governor and working with our Republican colleagues in the House. 2 years ago, as I mentioned, our state faced a projected budget shortfall of $8 billion and had just a few pennies, largely in part to Brian Pereira, in our rainy day fund. Today, we're looking at nearly a $1.5 billion surplus in our healthy rainy day fund. 2 years ago, our state faced double-digit unemployment. Today, Ohio ranks among the highest of all states in job creation, and we're below the national unemployment average. 2 years ago, our economy was struggling. Today, our credit outlook has been improved, while the nation's outlook hasn't been quite so favorably treated. Ohio's business climate is better. Ohio is being talked about globally as one of the up-and-coming places to live, work, and raise a family. I firmly believe that we're on the verge of an incredible resurgence here in Ohio if we stay focused. That's what our priorities in the Senate are about. That's what these initial 10 bills are about. And that's what our discussions during this budget process are going to continue to be about.